Hello, mate. This is the Daily Opinion Podcast with Angelo Young. Fact check, not checking no facts. Yeah, there's been a lot going on and a lot of fact checking to do. I actually heard that Donald Trump was putting his signature on the $100 bill, I believe, and he's going to do it to the 50 and the 20 later on. I don't know what's stopping him from doing that, but here, let me actually fact check that real quick. So yeah, that's actually correct. He's gonna try to put his signature on a bunch of $100 bills starting in June to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the United States. I don't even know what this, because that's the thing. I don't know, because it is interesting because there are presidents' faces on dollar bills. So why can't there be a signature? You know, I'm not the best Trump supporter by any means. I don't like the guy at all, but it's just a weird change for the 250. Like, you would expect him to put out like something that commemorates the United States as a entire country rather than just like, hey, this is this is my signature for the 250th anniversary for the United States. Like, who are you to it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, this is just narcissism. I wouldn't even have thought of something like this. If you're and that's what I'm thinking. This guy isn't like a regular person, like, because most people would be like, yeah, that's gonna seem extremely gaudy and extremely like stuck on up your own butt. But he clearly doesn't care, and someone had to have given him the rundown, like, hey, bro, you can actually do this if you want to, and just say that it's for the 250th. Like, because honestly, if he could change out all the president's faces for his own face, I guarantee you 100% chance he would do it. I don't know if he can't do it, but I'm assuming that there's something in place that's stopping him from doing that. Because if he can put Trump on everything, put his signature, put his face wherever, everywhere, government wise, I don't have any doubt in my mind that he would at least try to do it. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. A lot of people are actually saying to black out his name, seeing that he likes to redact his name in a lot of files. So yeah, it's actually pretty interesting, and it's funny too. Like with the whole Epstein files, like it's the Epstein files is kind of not funny or tricky. It's just the fact that, like, right now we're paying, I think it's like $2 billion a day for this war. And, it's like that's something that's actively affecting everyone in the United States versus the Epstein files. It's like it's not affecting everybody, but it's still a terrible thing. And it's just interesting to me that, I can't say that this is his way, the war is his way of trying to get the Epstein files to not come to light anymore, to get people to stop talking about them. But it's like, what do you think is going to happen after this war? Like, do you think we're just going to forget about that whole, billionaires raping people? Like, are we just going to, billionaires raping kids? Like, what is the end game here? Because actually, there's a pretty crazy thing. Like right now, like I said, we're spending about $2 billion. But the crazy thing is that since oil prices are getting so high, the United States is now going to go ahead and buy oil from Iran, who we're in a war with right now, in order to kind of help out with the prices of gas. And it's here, let me actually find what the amount is. It was like 170 billion, 170,000 barrels, equaling up to $14 billion of oil from Iran, who are in a war with. So what do you think that $14 billion is going to go to? It's going to go to bombing United States soldiers, seeing that the Marines are going to get taken in. And I don't know. It's just wild too, because now they're talking about raising the age for not the draft, but for not employment. I guess technically employment, to go into the military. It went up from 34 to like 42. And it's just like, I don't know what you think. Because in my mind, I'm like, hey, bro, first of all, you need to send ICE first and foremost. Like, they're the first ones that need to go over there. Second of all, send your fucking people over there, because the majority of the United States, it's like 30% of the United States is like, we don't even like Trump. Like, I'm sorry, 30% of the United States approves of Trump, and I think it's actually 28 if we're not rounding. Let me double check that. Okay, no, I'm actually wrong on that. My bad. It's 36% as of March 26th. So I think a lot of it is, now that he's starting this war and everything, and people are, getting hit with all these price changes, is what is kind of tanking him right now. Because I don't know, it's interesting where it's like, and a girl actually has a pretty nice, not nice, but a good post on it where, a guy's taking off a Trump sticker from his truck and he's like, not my president anymore. And it's like, so the racism and all the bullshit that he was doing was fine, but then if you got to pay like an extra $1 in gas per gallon, like that's where you draw the line on your like, it's really tough too, because, I'm a millennial. Like, I guess I'd like to think that racism was like definitely a past thing. I understand that it still exists, but you wouldn't think that it exists in such a prolific way where even the average American seems like they're more racist than what is given, because it just doesn't make any sense. Because now we're kind of saying, we're seeing now that when things are affecting them in a certain way, like, obviously we've been looking at police brutality for years in the black community, where it's like, people are getting murdered in the street for like pretty much no reason. And then, folks come in and say, well, why did Tamir Rice even have a gun in a park? And it's like, well, it was a fake gun. Or, they had a history of doing things. And it's like, okay, like, granted, but that does not mean you can then, like, and it was weird, too, because it's like, well, there's more white people, and those white folks, there are white folks that have, like, same priors and everything, same as, like, other black people do. Like, they're people. At the end of the day, everyone's a person. So white people and black people have the same things. But it seemed like the police brutality aspect, where they were murdering people in the street, was only happening to black folks. So, some people would deny it, but then when ICE goes out and kills a white guy with a gun, everyone's like, yo, we need to get ICE the fuck up out of here. And it's like, damn, that's weird. So, like, that happened once, and you're like, yeah, that is unfavorable and shouldn't be happening in the street. But, and I'm not saying all these people haven't spoken out before. It's just, it's interesting that the entire nation, I can't say the entire nation, but the majority of the nation, if you're not crazy as fuck, seeing that he didn't have the gun on him when he was shot and he never reached for the gun, kind of was like, yeah, this is like murder, essentially. But again, you don't really see that much outrage when it happens to like a little black kid. And I wonder what that is, because I don't know. I've always had the mindset when I was younger of being like, yeah, if it happens to someone else, it can happen to me regardless of like race or regardless of religion or anything like that. It's like, yeah, if you see something like fucked up happening, like, understand that it's fucked up for everybody. It shouldn't be just fucked up for that particular group. And then you just walk around just hoping like, well, everything's going to be right with me. It's like, no, it's coming. Because if you think about, like, if they were to go around and start killing all the black folks and then there's no more black people, like, you still need a lower class of person to kind of stomp out, like, because it's not like only black people committing crimes, and police, like, it's sad to say, but like 40% of police officers are involved in domestic violence. So that's, who knows what the actual numbers are with that. Because I believe I even saw a video where it was like, is it more dangerous to be a police officer or a police officer's pregnant wife? And they were like, they did the numbers and they're pretty much like, yeah, the police officer's pregnant wife is at a higher chance of getting hurt or murdered than than most police officers are, in the line of duty. So, that being said, it's just like anything can happen to anybody. And if you just are thinking like, hey, bro, nah, it's only going to stay in the Latin community. Like, once they're eliminated, then you're going to be next. Or, maybe, because there's actually, my wife hates it when I bring it up, but let me see if I can find this like little poem here. Yeah, it's called First They Came by Pastor Martin Nielmer. I butchered his last name, but I think you know what it is. So it's like, this is what the poem is, or the entire poem, I guess. First they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Like, because I feel like even if all like if and I'm not really speaking to anyone in particular, but it's just like if you see injustice happening to somebody, once that person is gone, it's coming for you, unless you're the person causing the injustice. Because in my mind, I look at it like, okay, you take out all the black people, you take out all the Mexicans, and it's just pretty much America, just a white group. The next thing that they're going to do is they're probably going to go after like specific jobs or trades. They're going to say like, hey, if you're a construction guy, like, hey, bro, the electrician's actually taking your job. Or maybe they'll stick to classes and be like, no, the lower class isn't working as hard as you middle classers, or the lower class, these middle classes aren't working as hard as you. You're the ones that are outside all day while they're sitting inside and making more money. You need to hate them because they're the ones that are holding you down. Even though when you look at it, the fucking billionaire class that owns the company is the one that's hoarding all the wealth and not doing the whole trickle down thing. Like, I don't know. It's just so funny to me that we can go years and years and there's like evidence and there's things that are proven, like with how certain tactics don't work. But people are so fucking stupid that they'll just never learn. They'll just vote against their own interests, thinking it just won't happen to me. And, that's such a childish way of thinking in my book, where it's like everyone else is going to be affected rather than me. Whatever. I'll move on to the next subject. Here's a good one. Finland successfully transmits electric power through the air without using physical wires. I don't even know how that's possible. At a certain point, we got to look at it and be like, what is magic? Like, what are we describing as magic? Here, let me read this. Scientists in Finland have successfully transmitted electrical power through open air without using physical wires, demonstrating a new generation of contactless energy technologies. Well, I know I can charge my phone without, but I guess it's technically physically touching the other thing. Researchers from the University of Helsinki and the University of Oulu revealed that controlled electric transmission is possible by shaping the air itself, and the findings disclosed in January 2026 through a variety of research briefings. It's worth noting that Finland has not developed a full-scale wireless electricity grid capable of replacing power lines. Whatever. Fuck all that. Yeah, what is magic? Because, I mean, if we can just send electricity through the air so it can, like, get in contact with your phone so your phone never runs. Like, what is magic? Because if you wanted to just shoot off a flame out your hand or whatever, a fireball, I guess you couldn't really do that now, huh? But I don't know, bro. Like, at a certain point, we have to look at it and be like, okay, we're getting into magic territory. We're getting into fantasy land. You know what I mean? Like, soon we're going to be able to contact people through, just telekinesis. Like, what if that's what telekinesis was in, like, fantasy land? Like, we think that it's like, oh, no, their brains are like, it's like, no, they had, like, little chips in their brains, and they could just talk to each other through the chips. Who knows? I don't. But, yeah. No, that's interesting. I mean, at a certain point, like, people are getting their eyesight back, people getting their hearing back. We got fucking electricity going through the sky. We're flying in planes and shit. We're trying to figure out, like, how alien ships work. It's like, yo, it sounds like magic. Let's see here. Now, this is a crazy one. I actually need to look into this a little bit more. ABC 15 Arizona. The Phoenix Police Department will not discipline any officers involved for their roles in a massive city scandal where officials invented a fake gang and then falsely charged protesters as members back in 2020. Now, that seems like you should be like, that's a whole, like, that's going to have to be the next point that we get at. Like, once we deal with getting Trump out of office so that he doesn't bankrupt America. Because I guarantee as soon as he's like about to either get when he's impeached, and I guarantee once he starts like, okay, like I might actually go to jail for what I done, I guarantee he's going to just run to Israel and chill. Because apparently Israel takes in like rapists and everything. Like people that are Jewish that have been caught like raping kids and stuff. They'll leave and go to Israel before their, prosecution date, and they'll just kind of chill out there. So who knows? But yeah, this seems like I don't even know how you could get away from it at a certain point, because like in my book, I'm like, if you're a lawyer, you should probably have higher charges because you know the law. Like, if it's a mom that's never been in trouble before and she, does an illegal U-turn or whatever, you shouldn't charge her to the maximum extent because she may have not even known it was illegal. Like, because I know police, and that's a crazy thing. Police officers will be like, ignorance of the law is not, whatever it is. Like, ignorance of the law is not a reason to be breaking it or whatever. It's like, no, nigga, you know exactly what you can and can't do, and you still did it. And now you're not being prosecuted? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, because that's the thing. We're going to have like an out, and I don't understand why we don't have it. Like, there needs to be, and we probably do. Let me see what this is. Yeah, I just had to look up who actually audits the police because it's like, and they even say through a combination of internal affairs, civilian oversight boards, which I've never heard of a civilian being able to tell a police like station, like, you can't do that, Independent police auditors, which I've seen them online. There's, auditors that they'll just stand outside of a police station and take pictures. And then police always come outside and they're like, hey, you can't do that. And they're like, yes, I can. I'm like an independent auditor. And they still get roughed up and shit. So I'm like, I don't even know. Yeah, and it says federal and state agencies like the Department of Justice. But it's crazy, though, because like the Department of Justice did a whole, looking into the police. And they were like, yeah, it's filled with like gangs and shit, like white supremacy gangs. It's like, what? Yeah, it's like filled with white supremacy gangs. They and some gangs you have to kill someone in order to get in. So, it's just what it is. It's like, nigga, hold on now. So what are we going to do about it? And then I don't think anything came out of it. Hey, I'm going to check. Yeah, it was the FBI. So the Federal Bureau of Investigation conducted undercover operations and investigations that revealed the infiltration of criminal gangs within the local law enforcement agencies, most notably in the Los Angeles area. Like, and let me see. What came out while other agencies like ICE through Operation Community Shield target street gangs? I'm like, no, it's not. Yeah, I don't know. This shit is just, it's like dystopian as fuck. It's like you got people at the top that are fucking kids. Then the people that are supposed to be protecting the citizens aren't doing anything about it because they want money from the billionaires who are fucking kids. And then the police are incentivized to protect the people, the Congress people, who are passing laws for billionaires in order for them to get money so that they can continue fucking kids and then also make more money. It's just like, what the fuck is going on? And then, it's told to everyone and people are just like, well, I guess this is what goes. I guess it's just how it is now. It's like, what the fuck? Like, and it's so crazy because like even talking about this, it's like, you could put this in a book and you'd be like, this is like overly evil, but hey, we gonna sit back and we gonna chill. I was actually talking about something that I wanted to speak on. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, they're trying to pass a law now where it's pretty much illegal for any sitting Congress member to like hold stocks and pretty much get rich off of being in Congress, which makes fucking perfect sense. I don't know how this wasn't a rule already, like people just getting fat off of this ridiculous shit. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how that goes. But I'm like, who's it gonna go through? Is it gonna go through Congress? Are they gonna vote outside their own interests? Like, they literally vote for their own salary. So I'm not exactly sure how, these people who have been taking advantage of the system for so long is now going to somehow get a heart. Like that's what I think is what we need, is like auditing programs where the same way the police have, like at the end of the month they have to get a certain amount of like, tickets or arrests or whatever it is. We need an auditing program where they're on the lookout to try to find like, oh, okay. And they have to get a certain amount of tickets or arrests on police officers and, Congress people that are fucking around too much. Like, they need to be incentivized just as much as the police are incentivized to terrorize the fucking community. But, shoot here. This is a lighter note, I guess. WNBA agrees to new deal featuring first ever $1 million max contracts, and average player salaries are expected to top $500,000, up about 350% from 2025. That's amazing to me. Whew. I don't know what it is. When I start talking on this podcast, I just start yawning. Maybe I'm boring myself. Maybe that's why I don't have enough listeners. I'm boring myself. So how the fuck is anyone else supposed to listen to this garbage? But yeah, WNBA. Oh, all right, just read it. Yeah, that's amazing because I was like, are they profitable yet? I know Caitlin Clark was bringing in some nice little money, but like, is she that profitable? Let's see how profitable the WNBA was from 2025 to 2026. So I guess now, yeah, it doesn't seem like they're still profitable. But I don't know. It's just interesting because hey, good job to them girls that's making that money, but I don't know, like, because in my mind I'm like, is this gonna hurt them in the long term? Because I don't see the NBA ever cutting the WNBA just because they probably get so much backlash for it. It just wouldn't make any sense. But it's like, if you're not profitable and then we're paying you even more money to, not fill out seats, it seems like it's going to go against what you actually need it to do because then people are going to be like, okay, like we're sinking way too much money. We need to shrink the WNBA or something like that. In order to make sure that like the people that are in it, they're they're really good players. They deserve the money. Not saying that no one doesn't deserve, but like, hey, we want the really good players and make sure that they're compensated. If you're riding the bench, like we're not making any money with this. You know what I mean? Like you can't just sit on the bench. Like I don't know. It's just rough. I don't understand the finances of it, but I know for me, if I'm like, you're not making any money, I'm not giving you more money. I'm so sorry. But I guess that also cuts down on like the whole Brittany Griner situation because I believe a lot of WNBA players, they play for other teams, just because they weren't making as much money. Because I remember I was making more money than like half of the WNBA, or at least the Atlanta team. I was making more money than like half of the Atlanta team. Actually, let's see how much they making. Let's run down. I'm gonna look at Caitlin Clark's team and whatever Atlanta got going on. It's so wild that you can just look up athlete salaries. I wonder why they do that. Probably to make sure that people know, like, hey, we're cutting this person because of this reason. Kind of gives you a little bit more in-depth view. God damn. Okay. Hold up. Brittany Griner is on in Atlanta's team? My God. She's making fucking bank. Let's see. So we got Brittany Griner. She's the number one, or I guess her and Brianna Jones. They're making $214,000 a year for 2025. Good Lord Jesus in heaven. The next person, Jordan Canada and Allison Gray, 190. Nia Kofi and Shatori Walker Kimbrough are making 150,000. And then the other ones, pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So pretty much the starters in it, I'm assuming like the six lady, I don't know. Six lady are making like pretty good money, but then they drop down to Ryan Howard. She's making 91,000, and pretty much goes down to there's some folks that are making this girl, well, she had a 7-day contract. She made $7,000, and the lowest one is Sika Cone, and she's making 15 G's. That's rough. Yeah, like you gotta do something else. Like that's so crazy. Like some of these girls, they're not even making enough to live in Atlanta. To be real with you, I mean, not to laugh at them at all. Like that's terrible, but yeah, no, 77,000 in the city. That's rough. That's gonna be tough here, and that's the Atlanta dream. And so here I'm looking at the Indiana Fever, who has Caitlin Clark. She's the main one that I know. If I were to go to a game, I'd want to go to one with Caitlin. I wouldn't mind seeing Brittany Griner. I've known about her, but dang, she only 22 years old. I am old as fuck. Let's see. Woo! Hold up. That can't be right. Hold up. I'm trying to find the legit one because the one I saw, I'm like, ain't no way she's making that much money. Where Caitlin Clark at? Here it goes. Okay. Yeah, so I was looking at the total that she was getting paid, not the for the I believe she has a 4-year contract. But I looked at the total and I was like, there ain't no way, because she's still on a rookie contract, I believe. I could be wrong. Here, so Caitlin Clark's only making $78,000. I mean, this is obviously not including any of the sponsorships or whatever that they have, but still, this is nothing compared to how much she's given the league in money. But yeah, even the draft, yeah. So these rookie contracts are garbage. $74,000, $68,000. I feel like the NBA minimum rookie contracts is like $250. Let me check. Let's see what this is. Yeah, so they got 2x2, 2-year or 4-year deal. So number one picks, $10 million. Bro, come on, man. They playing games, bro. Okay. Yeah. Damn. $11 million for the number one and $2 million for the 30th, but they don't have it up to 60. I want to know the second round. I want to know the lowest of the low. I want to know the lowest of the low. All right, they're not giving it to me. But yeah. Hopefully them girls get paid. They deserve it. But it's so weird to me because they're want to get paid more. They want to get more eyes on them. But anytime I see something with the WNBA, it's like them acting weird towards people. Like, I mean, obviously they're getting dildos thrown at them last year or whatever. That was terrible. And then people go like, there was like some streamer that went there literally just to lay down and act like he was sleeping. That's not cool. That's terrible. But shit, I ain't got nothing else to say to that. Like, hey, make your money, ladies. That's all I'm saying. I just really hope that it doesn't end up biting them in the butt later on down the line. I mean, at least they'll get their check, but, you know, and I don't think the WNBA is ever going to go away, especially if the NBA stays profitable. But, yeah, that's a big if because, like, with how things are going in the United States right now, like, I don't think a lot of people have a lot of spending money to be going to games and everything like that, especially, hey, because I feel like even the NBA tickets are going to get higher because the NBA teams have to fly everywhere. So, I mean, I understand flying isn't like the number one way of them making money. But the thing is that they're going to use that, or number one way of them spending money. Obviously, it's like the player contracts and everything and probably like the arenas or whatever. But they're going to use any reason that they can. And this is what we really need to know. Like, all these fucking companies are going to use any reason that they can in order to raise their prices and never fucking lower them. They might lower them a smidge. They're going to raise it by 20% and then lower it by 5% once things start out because they kept saying that supply chain shit about COVID for the next 3 years after the supply chain had already been recovered. So they're, you know, with this whole fucking gas thing, 100% like the prices are going to go up and then they're not going to come down. And then salaries ain't going to go up either because unless something dramatically changes with like the way that the system is ran, I don't understand how this could possibly continue going on. I genuinely have no clue. They're talking about giving a universal basic income, but then that's just giving government more power over you because now they can just be like, yo, we didn't come to an agreement. No one's getting fucking paid. And well, maybe they can't do that because then banks would be like, yo, like everyone's fucking defaulting right now. I don't know. But again, I don't think any of these people are even thinking about that shit. Because the way that they're going about this war is like, y'all didn't even fucking think. You didn't even think. Iran just said, bro, you better do this shit or we're going to show everyone you know, in the bed fucking some kids. And he was like, yo, we going to get into this war. And you know who he is. But, hey, either way, this is a more negative episode, but it is what it is. Take it easy. Hopefully this war ends soon. Hopefully no one gets hurt. No more Americans are passing away, and